and, make a little conversation. And I just said, you guys have got a really good team. And he said, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Just wait till tomorrow night.
No
the show's
kidding.
really going to be on.
And this is one of their coaches? I love it.
One of the assistant coaches for the JV, who I assumed was an assistant on the varsity as well, that's a comment he made to me. So they have, I tell you, Sam, I think this is the biggest thing in Rutherford County since they discovered Abraham Lincoln was born in Boston. That's a big
Man,
deal.
I'm telling you, they Coach Bailey has got them all drinking the Kool-Aid up there. And you know what? A lot of times that's all it takes is a true belief in your system and your coaches and your teammates, and you can overcome a lot of obstacles.
Yes, you can. Well, what do you guys think? What's y'all's predictions? I
Barry?
need a couple of
you want me to go
experts
first? Okay, here it goes. I'm going to say Burns comes out on top. I think that Coach Beam's defense is going to be a little bit too strong. And here I am saying that when he went against Bandy's last week, which is the top defense in the Southern District 7. But I got Burns winning 31-17.
Okay.
I think that's a fair number. But I also feel like, and I'm a glass half full kind of guy. So, and from Chase's perspective, I think they truly do believe they can win, and they just might. I feel like, based on what I've seen of Burns the last few weeks, that they will be just a little too good for Chase. But I've not seen any film on Chase. I don't know.
Right.
All I know is what I've heard. But we're looking forward to an exciting game.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing.
Chase being a small two-way, one can make the assumption they'll have several going both ways. Of course, the Bulldogs have some going both ways as well. It's kind of hot. I hope cramps aren't an issue tonight. But
now, Chuck, that small 2A argument don't really walk, especially Shelby's small 2A. So,
so
you can't do that. And we got another caller on the line. Hey, Chuck, thank you so much for calling.
Thanks a lot.
Tell Cameron, good game last night, tough loss, and we'll look forward to seeing him play down the road.
Thanks a lot, Sam. Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. And Steve, we've got another call on the line, the immortal Dan Greer's stepdad, I believe. Lewis Carpenter.
Hey guys, what's up?
What's up?
Lewis, how you doing today, buddy? Where you at tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Going over to Lincoln and East Gaston.
How'd I know you'd be at Lincolnton?
Well, I don't know.
My understanding is they do have the best food in the press box.
It's hard to say. Maybe because the food is good.
I've been there before, done a game there before, and I got to say they had a nice spread, a real nice press box.
And let me tell you, Fat surprised them this year, and they lay it out there, son. They had barbecue ribs last time I was here.
I'll tell you what, Lewis, you're over there. Coach Kleniger's going for win number 125 in his career tonight.
Is that right?
Yes, he is. And, a tough loss last week at North Gaston, 10-7. And, it's been a long time. They haven't played East Gaston but one time in their career, and that was way back in 1973.
No kidding.
Exactly. It's the only time they've ever played East Gaston.
I didn't realize it'd been that long.
Yes, it has. So they're 1-0, and that's what the record stands at. But tonight
Scott was almost playing then, wasn't he?
I got a good feeling he was playing. And if I'm figuring it up right, back in 73, Scott probably was a player.
I think Scott didn't graduate 74, 75.
So there you go. He was a member of that team that beat them 9-0 back in 1973.
I think he probably was. Yeah. I'll tell you, I don't know much about East Gaston. I do know that they've had a few problems from time to time, and they're 2-1 on the year. Of course, Lincoln's 1-2, but they're at home, and I've said all along that I think Lincoln has got a lot of talent. Now, they've had some miscues here and there, and of course South Point wore them out, but South Point's going to wear out a lot of folks.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
So, I think they can probably win this game tonight if they come out and play like they should play. I think they can win this at home. Now, if they were down at East Gaston, I think the home field's going to make a huge advantage here.
You got something impressive going on over there tonight, too, Lewis. They're going to honor the 1993 state champion team.
I heard that, yes. I heard that. I heard them talk about that.
Who was the running back on that team? Kid could run. Holy moly, he was good.
Goo Wyatt.
Yeah, Goo.
Yes, Goo Wyatt.
That kid,
Tim Guwhite, and the big wide receiver was.
you got
what's his
Terry
name,
Stump,
Terry?
Lewis.
me
You got him
You haven't
stumped.
got me stumped me. I
haven't seen him. This is his first time he's been stumped.
Yeah.
He played basketball. He was the most valuable player on that team that year. He's a tremendous athlete. Went to state and had to drop out because he had somebody else take.
Yeah, he played arena football and everything. Sure did.
Charles
Briggs. There you go.
Something.
Briggs.
Briggs, not
Yes.
Charles. Yeah, okay, Briggs. Anyhow, he could have played on Sunday, but he got messed up, and that didn't happen.
Well,
but,
a lot of them get that.
Yeah, but I heard that the '93 team was going to be honored tonight. Coach Smith is not going to be there because of an illness. He's got a good friend that's not doing too well, and he's going to miss it. So I took the message to him to let him know where he was.
Well, Lewis, we want to thank you for calling in. Enjoy the game tonight between East Gaston and Lincoln, and we'll look forward to hearing you later on the Marburger.
And I'm going to enjoy the food, too. Terry, I'll think about you when I'm munching on that.
Not a problem, Lewis. Just don't eat too much.
All right, be sure to join.
We'll see you later.
All right, thank you. Be sure to join Lewis tonight on the Marburger Autos postgame show. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price with names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
When accidents happen, it's reassuring to know that quick expert care is nearby. Carolina's Healthcare Urgent Care Shelby is now open and is staffed with experienced physicians, mid-level providers, nurses, and support personnel equipped with on-site laboratory and x-ray services. So keep our new location and contact information close by for immediate access to the region's preferred healthcare and largest physicians network. Carolina's Healthcare Urgent Care, 1010 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Shelby Savings Bank.
It's just better here.
With local decisions,
Better.
flexibility, and knowing how to treat people,
It's just better. Better.
It's just better here.
we're here to help our neighbors do better.
It's just better here.
With our best deal mortgage guarantee,
It's just better. Better. Better.
Better here.
great products,
It's just better here.
and 2 convenient locations.
It's just.
It's just better here.
Now more than ever, Shelby Savings Bank. It's just better here. Member FDIC.
We all hear about how good the barbecue is in Lexington, Greensboro, and in eastern North Carolina. But here in Cleveland County, we all know that the best barbecue is here. At Alston Bridges Barbecue, Kent and Linda Bridges and their family make sure the staple of their restaurant is the best barbecue. Your choice, pork, beef, or chicken, plus delicious sides, such as slaw, beans, fries, and hush puppies. The best since Alston and Mabel opened in 1955. Alston Bridges Barbecue, 620 Grover Street, right here in Shelby.
It's the grand opening of the all-new Gastonia Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We have doubled our inventory, and during our summer clearance event, the savings have never been better. Plus, every new vehicle comes with tires for life, car washes for life, and loaners for life. Gastonia Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is now open 7 days a week for your convenience, and 24 hours a day online at GastoniaDodge.com. Experience the Gastonia guarantee today at Gastonia Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Since 1900, the Stamey Funeral Home in Fallston has been serving the families of our area with the finest in funeral service. In 1998, the Tysinger family began to serve the families of the Cherryville community, and today are a proud member of that community, providing services with dignity and respect. Caring for your family like our own, that's their slogan. Come talk with manager Pete Kraft about the services they provide at the Stamey Cherryville Funeral Home, 405 North Dixie Street in Cherryville. Today's high school football broadcast is being brought to you in part by your local Jack in the Box. Visit your nearest Jack in the Box anytime, 24 hours a day. The dining room is open till midnight, Sunday through Thursday, and 24 hours on Friday and Saturday. And of course, the drive-thru is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it's Jack in the Box, 3618 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia, 455 Earl Road in Shelby, and 102 College View Road in Dallas.
Hey, welcome back to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show here on KTCBroadcasting.com. Be sure to visit Wayne Witherspoon, Justin Witherspoon, over there at Witherspoon on Lafayette Street in Shelby for all your insurance needs. A bunch of good people over there, real good people. Terry, we've got a schedule tonight for KTC Broadcasting. We've got 5 video games, 2 radio games, and we failed to mention earlier, but folks, don't forget the post-game show, Marburger's Auto post-game show with Dennis Davis, Lewis Carpenter, Tom Centofanti, and the ever-popular Terry Reinhardt. Scores, recaps, interviews, phone calls, and just general silliness.
It is. Just give them a call late tonight, on them numbers that we gave you. Cleveland County, 704-482-1390. Gaston County, 704-435-3297. And Lincoln County, 704-735-8071.
And don't forget, give us a call tonight. We know you're going to have an opinion after the game, so give us a call during the show. We'd love to hear from you. We've heard from Burns fan Chuck Barbie so far. Lewis Carpenter is going to be up at Lincoln. We want to hear your opinion. What do you think is going to happen tonight? Who do you think is going to win? And give us an opportunity to agree or disagree.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw something out there.
All right.
Anybody heading to West Lincoln at Fred T. Ford, if you are listening, give us a call and give us what you think might happen tonight up at Fred T. Ford High School.
Absolutely. And you know what? Maybe not this week since we haven't had this conversation, but maybe we can get the ownership of the radio station to come up with some freebies to give out to people that like the third caller, kind of like AM radio years ago.
Yes, we've done that before.
Be the third caller and win free Burger King tickets or I don't know.
But anyway, our video games for tonight in Gaston County, game of the week, North Gaston Wildcats at the Cherville Ironman. Derek Smith and Daniel Howe will be doing that game. Drawn Wildcats go to the Crest Chargers. Andy Foster, Tim Foster, and Rob Rube will be there with that game. Burns Bulldogs will be at the Chase Trojans. Calvin Hastings and Dan Greer. Shelby Golden Lions at the RS Central Hilltoppers. Brent Pasco and Jeff Jones. And the East Lincoln Mustangs will travel down to Forest View Jaguars with Clint Spencer and Josh Collins doing that game. And all of these games are live. You can watch on your television.
And on radio tonight. On radio only tonight.
Yep.
You've got, well, not only, it's also on TV and radio, the North Gaston at Cherville. If you're not going to be anywhere where you can pick up the video, then you can listen to it on WCSL 1590 AM. Milton Baker, the ever-famous Milton Baker. Milton's almost getting up there in the same stratosphere with Dan Greer. Some of those, Andy Foster, that's been around a long time. Milton's been doing this a while.
Yes, he has.
Milton Baker and Danny Aker will bring you the North Gaston at Cherville game. And over in Lincoln County, game of the week on WLON, 1050 a.m., the West Lincoln Rebels at the Fred T. Ford Tigers. David Keever and Rick Mitchum will bring you all that action tonight. So a lot of choices tonight. And Terry, I will say one thing that of the 5 video games, East Lincoln at Forest View, our game of the week. Shelby Golden Lions at RS Central. Could be a mismatch, but RS Central has always played Shelby tough at RS. Burns Bulldogs at Chase, we've already talked about that. That could be an awesome game. North Gaston at Cherville. North Gaston coming off a big win against Cherville, who is yet to find their identity. Could be a good game, maybe not. And then drawn at Crest. Many believe that Crest will wipe the floor with them, but with Crest having some issues this week, that could be closer than expected. So be sure to stay tuned as the night goes along. Pick a game, and be sure to join the Marburger post-game show to get all the scores. And
got a phone call.
We're getting a message. So we do have a phone call. Caller, what's your name?
This is Russ.
Hello, Russ. What game are you going to see tonight?
Headed toward the West Lincoln game.
You go, Russ. You're listening, paying attention.
There we go. We got somebody out there listening to us. What do you expect out of the West Lincoln Rebels tonight against Ford?
I believe Ford better be on top of their defense because the Rebels are hot right now.
Well, you know they're coming in there with Daniel Davila, a young man that leads the ST7 in rushing. He's got a nice man out back there for the quarterback, Miguel Corella, who's he's almost rushing for 90 yards himself at the quarterback spot. And then the West Lincoln defense, and I'm going to give the West Lincoln staff a lot of credit, because when them guys go in at halftime, they make adjustments, and it really works in the second half against the opponents they are playing.
I'm proud to say that my grandson is one of those coaches that's up there at West Lincoln.
Hey, Rick, who is your grandson?
Philip Russ.
Oh, I know Philip.
Yeah.
I've known Philip for years and years, and I talked to his dad the other night. We had a little prowler moving around the neighborhood, so his dad came into the neighborhood and did a little looking around for us, and we talked about Philip and what a great job he's doing and how much he loves coaching at West Lincoln.
He's really enjoying his career of teaching and coaching.
Philip, a good little baseball player, too, back in the day.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he had a good year and good years playing baseball also.
Well, I know you enjoyed watching him play, and now you get to go to West Lincoln to watch him coach. So are you really enjoying the football season so far?
Enjoying the football season, seeing how they're 3-0, and he's head coach of the JV team, and they won last night against Ford.
Well, excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much for calling. We hope you enjoy the games tonight. And if you get a chance after the game, have an opinion, call the Marburger postgame show at the same phone number you reached us at, and you can ask Dennis and Lewis and them questions, or you can complain about something. It's basically your choice.
All right. Appreciate you guys doing a good job.
All right. Thank you so much, and we'll hope you enjoy the game tonight.
Well, back into our pole positions again.
Oh, yeah, we didn't finish those, did we?
Finished. We only got through to 3A.
We had to take a break.
Sure have. Into 2A, the East Lincoln Mustangs lead the way, followed up by Reedsville. Coming in next will be Carborough. Then Elizabeth Northeastern comes in next, besides Monroe, North Rowan, Southwest Onslow, Madison County, Washington, and Kinston. Remember Madison County from last year? An upset win over Shelby in the playoffs.
Well, let me ask you an opinion. Now, we've talked about East Lincoln taking on Forest View tonight. After what Shelby did last week at South Point, which was phenomenal, and we've got a player, our Witherspoon Insurance Player of the Week, comes from Shelby High School. We'll talk about him in this third segment. You think East Lincoln-Shelby game could happen down the road?
Oh, that's a good possibility.
Both 2A.
Could be. It all depends on whether they bump them up or down.
Has East Lincoln been big 3A lately, or 2A?
Not that I remember.
So they both could be
well, they
2A.
have been. I'm telling you, because a few years back they were bumped up into the upper group of the 2A. I know they're right on the borderline, and whichever team is almost in Lincoln County, except for like West Lincoln and North Lincoln. West Lincoln's always, with the group that they have, most of the time they are upper 2A. And then East Lincoln has been up and down, and Lincoln has been both too. They have been up and down.
Well, this Forest View East Lincoln game tonight, our game of the week, is going to be an exciting game. But down the line, talk about when the playoffs roll around, possible East Lincoln Shelby matchup could be a thriller. Could be an absolute great game. Well, let's talk about our next segment. We're going to introduce a new segment to the show this week, and it is called Pretender or Contender. I'm going to give you a list of names of teams in different conferences. I want your opinion, then I'm going to give you mine. And, folks, if you're listening, if you have an opinion, if you agree or disagree, give us a call. Big South Point 3-0, one of the top-rated teams in the state. Hard to say are they a pretender or a contender. I will say that after what Shelby did last week, giving them all they wanted, losing 34-24 for a state title, maybe pretender. They're going to win the conference, I think, unless Forest View sneaks up on them. But what are your opinions, South Point?
Well, my whole opinion was South Point, and I said it last week. They're a team that starts off very strong. I think by the time you get to the end of the year, everybody catches up with them.
Yeah.
And they do end up having to face them. Which, anytime you go to the playoffs, you're going to face somebody stout. Especially with the pod system like it used to be. But we don't have to worry about the pod system no more. But now it's going to be everybody flat out. And I think that they're going to be very hard to get beat. Running the red bone and the way they run it, Forest View, to me, will be the only team in that conference that can compete with them with a passing game.
So they are a contender with an asterisk
Yes.
right now. And again, until Forest View does step up and knock them out, they are the contender out of that conference. Forest View 2-1. I think we both would agree they're contenders.
Oh, yes.
After the way they've played this year and the scores they've put up. Now, here's a third one that I added to the list. Ashbrook is 1-2. 2 close, narrow losses to Burns and Crest. Went up to Asheville, beat them on their home field. They take on a T.C. Roberson squad tonight that apparently, from what I understand, it's going to be a mirror image of Ashbrook. T.C. Roberson throws the ball all over the place, as does Ashbrook. So if Ashbrook comes out tonight with a win, contender, pretender?
They are a contender if they come out with a win, because this team could very easily be 0-3. They could be 3-0.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're talking about that every week. Make them a contender. Sure.
So we've got 3 teams from the Big South that are all contenders as of this week. Let's go over to the Southern District 7 Conference, 2A Conference. East Lincoln 3-0, no doubt about that one. They are a contender.
They are a contender.
The state recognizes it. The area recognizes it. Other teams, we'll find out tonight if Forest View recognizes it. But East Lincoln definitely a contender. Now, this is one I wanted to throw at you. West Lincoln, pretender. And I don't know if you could be honest with this wearing that West Lincoln shirt without catching a lot of grief.
West Lincoln, number one thing that ever comes from West Lincoln is you got to believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think the coaches over there have got these kids believing what they can do. And I think a good segment for them was when they went down to North Lincoln and they come out with a win down there. A lot of people thought they was not going to be able to play with North Lincoln after North Lincoln gave Lincoln in a 1-point game. And West Lincoln went down there and come out on top. They're going to Fred T. Ford tonight. This is a big game. If you come out of it 4-0, if you lose this game, a lot of people are going to sit back and wonder again. But if you come out and I'm not saying you got to beat them bad, but if you come out with a 30-20 win or something like that, this group is going to start believing in themselves. And in 2 weeks, they've got Lincoln and coming to West Lincoln. That's going to be huge for West Lincoln Rebels.
Lincolnton, West Lincoln. So they could be 5-0, 6-0, something
could be,
like that?
Well, they'll be 4-0. They both, all of them have an off week next week.
Okay. A lot of open dates next week. Bunker Hill, 3-0. Earlier this year, they
pretender.
Putting up, okay.
Until they change how they've been playing in the years past, I have seen this group go 4-0 for 3 straight years, and then after that, they win 6 games out of 17. I mean, so they've totally fall off the map after. I mean, and could this happen again this year? Look at the conference you in. Look at the places you're going to have to play. You've got Newton Conover, you got East Lincoln, you've got West Lincoln, you've got Lincoln, and games that you have not played, you're still going to have bandies. You're going to have to prove to me that you can play with the big people.
Well, the Southern District 7 absolutely is a competitive conference with Bunker Hill, East Lincoln, West Lincoln, Maiden, and Bandies all with either 0 or 1 loss to this point. And we know Lincoln with 2 losses is a competitive football program.
Oh, yeah, defensive-wise, they are there.
So on the 2A level, that conference is probably on par with the Big South 2A, 3A in quality opponents within the conference. So Bunker Hill right now on your list is a pretender until they prove you different. Now, Maiden, biggest little football town in the world, I guess they go by, and they're 2-0.
Well, I'm going to put them as a contender. I think they're one of the top 4 teams that I picked from the start of the year that can win this conference. They do so much with no more, and I'm not going to say talent because they get as much out of every one of their kids that they can, but Maiden has been stout in 2A for a very, very long time. They've probably been to 15 straight playoff appearances without, being knocked out of it, so I'm making them a contender.
All right, so that's our pretender or contender. Do you agree out there? Tell me, do you agree or disagree with what we're saying? Let's move over to the South Mountain Athletic Conference, and the first choice, we've talked about these teams at length tonight, some of them. Burns, 3-0, contender or pretender?
They are a contender. There's no doubt. With Coach Beam over there, and he won the SMAC for 4 straight years. 3 straight years. He lost it the first year.
He lost one conference game the first year to Shelby and finished second that year.
Okay.
Although he started 0-5, he went like 4-1 or 5-1 in the second half in the conference and finished second in the conference. Since then, nobody over there in the SMAC has beaten Burns.
No, not a soul.
So a true contender there. Chase. 2-0, pretender
I'll tell
or
you
contender?
What, pretender until after tonight.
All right.
If you
fair.
can come away with a win tonight, then you are proving to me that you are a contender.
All right, that's fair. Shelby Golden Lions 1-2.
They're a contender. Anytime you got a passing offense, the way I saw them pass against South Point last week, they impressed me. George, you are the man.
Well, leading up to last week, I would have called them a pretender for sure, but apparently these kids have bought into that spread that Lance Ware's been trying to institute the last couple of years, and
we know
they could be a contender.
I mean, we know Shelby. They always get stronger as the year goes on.
That's true. Now, the last one on my list is Crest. Comes in at 1-1. Lost to South Point. No shame in that. Won a good game, a thriller against Ashbrook. I'm closer to that program, so I know a lot of the inside, what's going on, how good I feel like they are after years and years of watching them. What's your opinion?
I'm going to put them as a contender.
Okay.
And that's just me. You lost to a very tough Ashbrook team that's a little bit better than what I thought. And I know they can play. When you go Cleveland County against Cleveland County, you throw out records, and
Absolutely.
They hit the field and they play each other.
Well, I'm going to, at this point, until we see few more weeks, Crest is a pretender, in my opinion. Passing game's been really weak. We understand that the freshmen will be taking over the reins tonight. We'll see how that develops. And we're going to take a short break here on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Stick around. The third segment, final segment coming up.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price with names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Nissan. Those are the powerhouse of vehicles you'll find at Marburger in Shelby. Plus quality pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. And of course, a service department that is second to no one. So when you're in need of another vehicle, see the friendly staff at Marburger. Marburger, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Nissan. 1310 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Proud supporters of our local school athletic teams.
Where are you headed after the big game? To Newt's on the Court Square in Uptown Shelby. Newt's will be open till midnight after the high school football games this season. Come out and celebrate on Friday nights at Newt's. They feature a $5 burger every day. And on Wednesday, all burgers, sandwiches, and wraps are just $5. Newt's features all Angus beef or build your own salad. For after the game or just about any time, it's Newt's on the Court Square in Uptown Shelby. Open 7 days a week until midnight on football Friday nights. Like us on Facebook for our daily specials. Time for a new air conditioner. Want more home comfort from your air conditioner? Train and Forest City Heating and Air can help. Together, Train and Forest City Heating and Air provide the most reliable air conditioning systems in the world, bringing you quality, comfort, and guaranteed satisfaction. Train and Forest City Heating and Air are offering special year-round Train Comfort Specialist financing deals to make your purchase so easy and your family so comfortable. Call Forest City Heating and Air, your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer, serving Cleveland and Rutherford counties for over 30 years for all of your home comfort needs. Call 828-245-1379. And remember, it's hard to stop a train. See your participating independent Train dealer or visit train.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Forest City Heating and Air, your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer. Again, call 828-245-1379. Hospice of Cleveland County announces the opening of their hospice resale store. The store is now open and features approximately 5,000 square feet of retail space. The store is managed by Angela Ballard Jones and is located at 323 East Marion Street, right beside of Dollar General. Donations are currently being accepted. For more information, call Hospice of Cleveland County, 704-487-4677. The new hospice retail store, now open at 323 East Marion Street in Shelby, right beside Dollar General.
And welcome back. Terry Reinhardt along with Sam Davis joining you today on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Want to be sure to remind our folks, the Crest pregame show, if you were listening to us on the radio, you can now go over to ktcbroadcasting.com, find the Crest pregame show with Andy Foster, Tim Foster, and Rob Roop. They crank up their pregame show at 6:30 each week, and the rest of them start up at 7 o'clock. So don't forget Crest on KTC Broadcasting, and we've already sent that feed over to them.
We have, and don't forget the rest of the show. On our video tonight, it's Gaston County Game of the Week, North Gaston's at Cherryville, and then we got Drone at Crest, Burns at Chase, Shelby at RS Central, and East Lincoln at Forest View. Those are the games that you can watch tonight on your laptop, your television. Hook it up to your television. You got a
Computer,
bigger screen.
television, laptop, smartphone.
Exactly, everything. But then on the radio tonight, if you're just riding around and do not have any of that, flip it over to WCSL 1590. North Gaston's at Cherryville, and the Lincoln County Game of the Week is West Lincoln Rebels against the Fred T. Ford Tigers.
And let's get into the next segment where our What's Up for That in Class Act. This week I have a Class Act. I attended, as I mentioned earlier, the Forest View at Kings Mountain game last week, and I was entirely enthused by the crowd. The student sections for Kings Mountain and the student sections for Forest View were just cheering their heads off, and it makes me go back to traveling to Catholic the last few years. Their student section, amazing good. Fred T. Ford came into, not Fred T. Ford, dadgum, what was that team over in near Mint Hill in Monroe County? They're light blue color like Fred T. Ford, but they came over to Crest and brought a crowd, and their enthusiasm and spirit was through the roof. And I go to Crest games, and I got an email which got me thinking about this. Dennis from Crest emailed me on ktcpregame@gmail.com, and he asked the question. He actually was at the game also, the Forest View Kings Mountain game. He said that those student sections were awesome. He said, why are the Crest students and fans so quiet at the games? So, and it got me thinking about it, about different schools you go, and the kids get into it, they cheer. Other schools, real quiet, people sitting on their hands. Terry, what's your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. When you're playing any type of sport, and I've been to Independence, and we've talked about this before. I have been down there when they was on their 109-game winning streak. And when they was in the 80s, I went to watch them play West Mac, which they lost to last night. But they played West Mac, and there was probably 25 fans on that side and maybe 200 on their home side.
On a Thursday night high school football game.
Well, this was on a Friday, back then.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing that gets me is winning too old for you. And that's a bad thing to say because these kids go through all their workouts, everything they got to do to be out here and perform. Yes, I understand that when you're playing at high-ranked schools, and I wouldn't want to put it, when you start saying of tough teams, a South Point, a Crest, a Shelby, a Kings Mountain, a Burns, a Lincoln, and, is winning old. It should not be. Because these kids prepare every year the same way the kids before that prepare, and before that, even the kids that won the state championships have prepared. Be there, influence these kids, show them that you appreciate what they're doing. And mine's miking up, but anyway.
Yeah. Same here. We're losing our signal on the little radio we're using.
But that's how I look at it,
And I remember back in the 90s and 80s, well, not necessarily the 80s, but the 90s, a Crest ball game, Shelby, Burns, crowd would go crazy. Now, a lot of sitting on their hands, chit-chatting, even when exciting parts are coming up in the game.
But,
when you just wonder how some schools get it and some don't.
They do. And Sam, as well as I do, if you make the playoffs, then people start coming again.
They do.
I mean,
crowds get bigger, of course.
I hate to put it like this, but it's almost like the Cherryville Post 100. These people are so used to them being in the playoffs. Nobody comes in the regular season. They wait till the playoffs come around before they come.
Post 82 is the same way over in Shelby. Small crowds for a regular season game, but about the third round of the playoffs, they start showing up.
Exactly.
But, I just noticed over the years the fans just seem to really not get too excited at a lot of the home games. Now, this has been the running, not necessarily a joke at Crest, but I've heard this comment made by lots of different fans, said they love to go on the road in the playoffs. And you say, why would you like to go on the road? Because the crowd that travels are a loud bunch. They get together, and it's amazing. The most amazing fan from a fan's perspective games I've been to have been on the road with Crest over the years. But I challenge the Crest fans, get off your hands and cheer. When your team's doing something good or about to try to do something good, make some noise because the kids really appreciate it. And I believe we're going to take a quick break, or we got a phone call. Break, and we're going to take a quick break here on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Stick around. We still got about 20 minutes left.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price with names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
A child's life is so precious, yet all around us, children's lives are being destroyed by drugs. Take an active role in your child's life. Teach them that a healthy, drug-free lifestyle is their best choice. A word from Hooker Bonding of Shelby, our area's quality professionals, a name you can trust and depend on. Hooker Bonding is working today for a brighter tomorrow for our children.
What's that? That's the sound of running out of your icy cold $1 Coca-Cola from McDonald's. That's also the sound of puppies crying, of sweet violin strings breaking, of a tiny baby bunny shedding a single tear. Okay, you couldn't hear it, but it was still sad. But buck up, my friend. Any size Coca-Cola, soft drink, or sweet tea is still just $1 at McDonald's, so there's more happiness to love. A la carte only. Prices and participation may vary.
Remember, it wasn't raining when Noah started building the ark. For all of your waterproofing needs, stay high and dry with a call to H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing. H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing does all types of waterproofing, from basements to crawl spaces, from commercial to residential. Call 704-482-2847, 704-482-2847 for H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing, East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
Here, lizard, lizard, lizard.
Oh no, it's total mayhem.
Hurry, call your good neighbor.
You can't. They're not even there.
Why, they can't even lend a good hand. Oh. Relax. At Pegram Insurance, we've got you covered. Pegram Insurance Agency, 220 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, and in the Town and Country Shopping Center in Lincoln.
All right, and we're back on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Sam Davis, along with Terry Reinhardt, giving you all the lowdown on the stuff. And Terry, have you got something for us?
We do. I do want to go over every week. I make sure I go over this. A lot of people in the state of North Carolina wonder who has the longest streaks in winning and losing.
Let me ask you before you start: has anything major happened last week? Any changes?
No.
Major changes?
No, nothing major has happened. The longest winning streaks in North Carolina, number 1 is Northern Guilford. They have won 31 straight games. Number 2, the East Lincoln Mustangs, who make that trip down to Forest View tonight, have won 19 straight games. And number 3, Havelock, has won 17 straight games. On the losing side of it, number 4 in the state on the losing part of it is Highland Tech. They have lost 24 straight games. Number 3 is West Caldwell. They have lost 26 straight games. They have not scored a point. They've been outscored nothing.
Well, before you got to that, I made a note in my notes here. The song of the week. Yeah. 3 is at Inca Owen. Has not scored any points. I just thought that was interesting all in of itself.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know who owns the state record?
4.
Never scoring.
Never ever?
Never scoring in a whole year.
South Point Red Raiders.
It's a tough thing to ask, but it's the Burns Bulldogs.
No kidding. They went a whole season and did not score.
1968, they got outscored 305-0.
Yikes! That had to be their first year.
You know,
and I remember hearing stories from Crest on the Crest first year team, which was the same year, I believe, and they talk about how those guys walked into the locker room and none of them knew how to put on pads. Not one of those kids had ever played football before. So they didn't have a county football league. These kids, that first year, they were just said, who wants to play football? And these old farm boys all showed up and said, we do. And they said, okay. Here. And they were standing there looking at their equipment like, well, now what do we do? They didn't know.
So I know all them people who was still living as part of that squad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Saying, West Caldwell, I hope you never score a point all year. But anyway, number 2, Northmore has lost 30 straight games, and the number 1 on the list right now is Smithfield-Selma. They have lost 33 straight games, but to every one of them guys who have not won a game in a long time, my hats are off to you. I hope you pull out a victory today.
Well, good luck for them. Yeah, you do hope they win. Like I said last week, make me king for a day, and every single team gets one win. And I'm not being politically correct and feel good. I just think that if every team got one win, to feel that joy of victory.
Yes,
but somebody's got to lose, so that's the competition nature of it all. Hey, let's talk about the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show player of the week. Last week we had several choices to choose from.
We did.
And I will add Chad Surratt again was on the list as a nominee, as was Davila at West Lincoln. He had another great game. I came up with an honorable mention, Christian Stewart. With 1 second left in the game, this kid lines up and kicks the game-winning field goal over Lincoln. And to me, that took some cold, hard stones there to do that. He's my honorable mention.
Yeah, there's a little bit more time left in the game. I think there's 11 seconds.
No, really, I heard 0.7 seconds to 1 second.
When he kicked it, I think there was like 7.1 seconds left.
I'll be darned. But still, inside 10 seconds. For
I'm
the kid to have the nerve to do that.
Well, Sam, we always sit here, and if you're ever around me, the first thing I say, no matter who's going to win a state championship, you've got to have a field goal kicker.
Oh, yeah.
Because somewhere down the line, he's going to have to pull off a game for you, kick for you that wins a game that you never thought you would win. And you've got to have a field goal kicker. And if you go to Shelby, I'm amazed every time I go over there.
Every year. Every year.
I see 4 or 5 guys out there kicking field goals before the game ever starts.
And the kid last week, what, a 53-yarder or something like that.
Yes.
And they said he lined up and tried a 60-yarder and just was short.
Sure did.
So Luke Hayek or Hojakny, I can't remember his name exactly.
Luke something. I remember
But the kid's got a leg on him. And Shelby is like year after year they've got a kid fixing to go off to a D1 school somewhere and kick. They put out so many kickers over there. Been some good ones in the area. Last Trevor Austin over at Crest, and I don't know if we're on the air or not, but we've lost all sound in our head. We are on the air.
Good.
Thank you, Steve. Steve Roberts, engineer. I want to thank Steve for all the hard work he does to keep us on, and it's back. But our player of the week, getting back to the kickers, you know, Trevor Austin, great kicker, went to Gardner Webb and was their kicker, won some games for him over there, but as a high school senior, missed 1 extra point in the state championship game. That's how important it is. Better. It's cutting out the last few minutes. All right, but our Witherspoon Insurance Player of the Week, remember, Christian Stewart was our honorable mention along with Davila and Chad Surratt, but our Player of the Week is R.J. George, quarterback over at Shelby. This kid almost single-handedly beat South Point with his arm as he threw for a school record 323 yards and a 35-24 loss to South Point.
Well, I saw him come up, a couple years ago, and I was like, this young man can play.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and at that time, you know, he has turned into what I thought he would be. He is leading the Shelby Golden Lions, and, I'm proud for the young man.
Well, he's been a linebacker by trade and backup quarterback. He's over at Shelby this year. He wants to pursue the quarterback position, and it looks like Lance Ware is getting a lot out of him as he threw the ball all over the place. And Shelby absolutely had a shot at beating South Point last week, from what I understand. Several drop passes in the second half that would have really turned that game around. So Shelby's R.J. George, congratulations. This kid is our Witherspoon Insurance Player of the Game. We're going to be with you tonight till about 6:56 as we will break away at that point for some commercials and then be taking you to all the different pregame shows at the campuses at Chase, RS Central, Cherryville, Crest, East Lincoln, and Fred T. Ford. One more question. We've got about 3 minutes. I wanted to get into anything you want to add?
No, we're good.
All right. Well, let's talk about recruiting. Colleges do it. Why can't high schools? And I don't know if 3 minutes is enough time to talk about it, but we'll touch on the subject and
Depends
then maybe
on
finish
which
it
high
next
school
week.
you are.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, a lot of people and I'm probably one of the world's worst for this when I've got a Charlotte Catholic who can come out here and pick up whoever they want, which
Right.
now don't get me wrong. I think that the NCHSAA has done a great move by moving them to 4A.
Right.
And that's the best thing that can happen. I think everybody else can pick up anybody they want or don't have boundaries for
and that's,
your area.
That's the key, the boundaries. In a lot of counties and a lot of parts of the state, if you don't live in this certain section, if you don't physically reside in that section, you cannot go to that school.
The problem I have with it, and I've seen it quite a bit, is mom lives over here in this one district while my dad lives in another district, on account of they're separated.
Right.
And this can happen, and then that student, whoever the student may be, has a choice.
Right.
Now, I can go live with my dad this year, and if it don't all work out over there, I'm heading back over here to the other area to be with my mom, where I can live, go to that school in that district.
Well, we've seen kids moving around over the years, in and out, different schools. I related a story to you last week about a kid that played at a local high school in Cleveland County, played football that year, decided to go out for the basketball team, got cut. Immediately transferred to a rival across the county, played basketball for him, and when that season was over, applied to transfer back because he wanted to graduate with all the kids he'd played and grew up with. Well, the school board said no. You went over there for a reason, you're going to stay. But kids to nowadays, they'll go where they think they can get more attention. They'll go where they think they can play more. But I'm a big believer that you are where you are, and if you want to go somewhere else, there's going to be a penalty. You're going to have to sit a year. I like the sit a year idea. I think that will stop all the kids moving around. Even if your mom lives in this district and you go to live with dad in the other district, you're going to sit for the year. If you were enrolled at that school during last year, you'll play there the next year or you'll sit a year. And that'll stop 80% of it.
It will, and we always have to remember this is academics, not athletics.
They use academics as an excuse,
Yes.
or y'all have a better drafting course or something over there. But we've seen kids going to different schools, and the county challenge it, say no because it's football. But then if it's soccer or baseball, it's okay. So I'd like to see a more regulated within Cleveland County, Gaston County, wherever we are. But we'll touch on this more next week. Hey, we are getting a high sign from Steve Roberts. That's going to do it for the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show.
It is.
Terry Reinhardt, thank you for another great show.
Thank you,
Join
Steve.
us next week, same time, same station. Good evening. Enjoy the games.